I'm waiting, but he said he's taking it now. He's just setting it up, so they're going to be taking it any second. Taking it now. Hi, if you guys are just joining us on Facebook, we are in Stafford County right now, getting a look at the roads, dealing with icy conditions all across the DMV right now. We are right in Stafford County. We just left a little shopping center area. Right where we're at now, the roads seem to be okay. You can see cars out on the roadway right now. You can flip it around and see the back as well. Have cars out. We've been on the roads for about an hour or so now, and on the major highways, it's not too bad at this time, but of course, as it gets colder and more of the heavier rain starts to lessen, that's whenever Chester was saying that we could see more, worsening conditions. Again, we are in Stafford right now. We have been in the Weather Explorer for the last hour or so, coming from DC here in Stafford County. I'll show you guys what we are looking at as we're driving. Again, conditions okay, but of course the big concern right now is ice. As we're driving, you can see signs here. They don't have icicles hanging off of them, but as we were driving on the highway, every sign that we were seeing had ice hanging off of them, and cars as well. We were seeing that. Roads are okay at the moment, but they have been tumultuous all day. We got some information at 4 from the Virginia State Police. They have responded to a total of 283 crashes statewide today. 37, they say, in the Culpeper region, 83 in the Fairfax region. So, of course, as you can see, we're going right now, but roads still dicey in some areas. Where we're at right now, they're okay. But again, as the temperatures start to continue to drop as it gets darker as well, of course, a big concern. VDOT says from their perspective, this is very difficult to deal with because the temperatures are below freezing and the roads, they're cold as well. So everything that falls freezes instantly, especially whenever we had, the heavier rain hitting the ground. What, meteorologist Chester Lampkin was saying is whenever it gets more drizzle, that's going to be the bigger concern that we're worried about. They are encouraging, VDOT is, drivers to keep off of the roads. They are saying, though, if you absolutely have to be on the roads, to drive pretty slow. We're going well under the speed limit right now, and everyone is that is on the roadway here. You can see we're traveling right now, heading more towards the Stafford area. And if you do absolutely have to get out, VDOT, of course, encouraging everybody to take it slow. They also sent a couple tips in a while ago, or some reminders to just avoid any unnecessary travel tonight and also into the evening and the overnight. But if you absolutely have to drive, allow plenty of additional time. You can see we're coming up to a stoplight here as well. Not seeing a ton of cars on the roadway, seeing a couple. As you can see, we're driving. You can check out behind us as well, see some vehicles, and you can see the road right there, just really wet at this point. And then if we can look at the front as well, you can see, can't get a look at the windshield, but it's, rain is still following, not heavy as it has been though, as we were driving here. So a little bit of traffic right now, but again, there have been a lot of crashes today across the state, according to the Virginia State Police. Again, they had 283 statewide. No deadly crashes have been reported. They also have been responding to a lot of disabled vehicles that are out on the road. 143 total Virginia State Police have responded to today, disabled vehicles out on the highways. In the Fairfax area, they responded to 29, and in the Culpeper division, they had 8. So in looking at the numbers as well from Virginia State Police, they have more crashes and disabled vehicles in the Fairfax region compared to Culpeper as well. So something to keep in mind. And again, if you guys are just tuning in, we are in the Stafford area, really close to Stafford right now, and of course in Stafford County, checking out the roads. We're right out front of the county public school building here to give you guys an idea of just exactly where we're at, and seeing those icicles. If you guys can see icicles hanging off of the signs, and even when you see the front of cars as you're driving down the highway, they've got ice hanging off the side as well. You can see we're passing the government building now in Stafford, so just an idea of where exactly we are. And we came to this area because this is where we're seeing a bulk of that ice accumulation. Where we're at right here, you can see the roads are okay. Flip it around as well, and not as many cars out on the roadway here, which is a good thing. Officials have been urging people to stay home, stay off of the roads unless you absolutely have to. We've seen across the state a number of crashes today, and VDOT too is asking people to stay off the road so crews can do their job. Let me focus on the front again here. You can see water on the road here as well. The big concern is this is going to turn to ice. And again, according to VDOT, they're saying, you know, the worst thing that we can deal with on the roads is, in fact, the ice. And it's a very different strategy because, you know, handling it, because there's no strategy for driving on ice. It is the worst thing that the Virginia Department of Transportation says that you can deal with out on the roads. And they are asking people, of course, to stay home the rest of the day, give the crews the rest of the day and through overnight, and they promise that tomorrow will be a little bit better for Valentine's Day. And they're looking also for a break in the temperature that we're hopefully going to be getting tomorrow, that we can hopefully come above freezing. And if you guys have any questions too, I will pull it up. If you have any questions about the roads where we at, I will take a look at that as well and answer any that I can. Again, if you guys are just tuning in, we are in Stafford County right now. Take a look at the comments. Oh, and just so you guys know, I'll show myself. I am in the back seat of the Weather Explorer. We have someone that is driving, so I am not driving right now. Solely focused on showing you guys what the roads look like, and we'll take a look out at the front right now. Okay, at the moment where we are, but of course a different story as soon as you get on the side roads. These are one of the more traveled roads as well. And even driving in DC, as I was heading into work, the roads were starting to get a little slick. You could tell that cars hadn't been on the roads right there, and also covered in ice as well. Be sure if you're encouraged to stay home, but if you absolutely have to get out, make sure that you have an ice scraper before you head to the car, because someone didn't have one. It took quite a while to get all that ice off the car today. But of course, VDOT is encouraging everyone to stay home, and for good reason, because the Virginia State Police is reporting more than 280 crashes today and disabled vehicles, and ice is just really hard to deal with, extremely dangerous. There's no way to really have, you know, get a good handle on that. And, you know, someone's asked, we are in Stafford, Virginia. We just went through Stafford a few minutes ago. We are now heading into Fredericksburg area. And we are on, now we have gone on to Route 1 for those who are familiar. Yeah, so we are in Stafford County heading towards Fredericksburg, reading your guys' comments right now. So if you guys have any please let me know and I will answer. Asking where's the person driving. They are in the front seat. We don't have a camera that can show him driving right now, but trust me, he's driving. He's doing a wonderful, he gave a thumbs up. Wonderful job driving right now, navigating all of this right now. I'll flip it around. You guys can see the back. Not a lot of people out on the roadway, but you can still see the snow, you know, that we've been dealing with a lot of winter weather over the last few weeks. It seems like every weekend we've got some sort of snow or ice storm that the crews are trying to keep up with. VDOT said that it's been a pretty busy winter, especially as of lately, and they are looking for a break in the temperature hopefully tomorrow, that we can try and put all this nasty winter weather behind us. Snow is one thing and ice is just a different battle. Ice is the worst thing to deal with. Also power outages. People are dealing with that as well right now. We're seeing downed trees in DC because, you know, as this ice accumulates, gets heavy, tips over. So power outages, slick roads, it's just a totally different beast compared to snow. I'll show you guys the roadways right now. So that's why they're encouraging people to stay off of them if you can. Yes, so this is what we're dealing with right now. Again, roads where we're at are okay. We are going well under the speed limit right now, trying to give you guys a look. And you can see the water piling up as well, which is good. That means it's, of course, not ice at this point in time. You can see it there. And we're seeing some people out on the roadways right now. Yep, we are on Route 1 right now, close to the Stafford Regional Airport, for those who are familiar with the area, close to Fredericksburg. And again, we have not seen any accidents, but Virginia State Police has been responding to them today. According to Virginia State Police, as of 4 p.m., they responded to 143 disabled vehicles, 283 crashes statewide. Luckily, none of them have been fatal at this time. They've been working, you know, VDOT has been working as well. We talked with them a little bit earlier this afternoon, and, you know, they say the biggest issue right now is as everything falls, it freezes. So it's just a continuous process for the crews who are going to continuously stay on this through the end of the storm. We have seen several trucks since we have been out on the roadway, got on 95, came down here, we're down on Route 1 in Stafford County. So, and you know, VDOT says from their perspective, this is difficult because the temperatures are below freezing, the roads are cold. The roads had salt left over from previous days, but they didn't want to put down any additional salt. Of course, it's raining, which can, you know, wipe and wash that off. They started preparing and, you know, taking care, you know, trying to get ahead of the storm around midnight, and they've been going around and putting salt just in the areas they say where the traction is needed. So that's, you know, keeping up to date with what VDOT is doing, but they say that ice is just really different than snow because there's no strategy for driving on the ice specifically. But they do have, you know, if you absolutely have to, of course, they're saying avoid any unnecessary travel this evening and overnight. But if you absolutely have to drive, VDOT says to allow plenty of time and to take it slow, which is what we are doing. And they say brake gently, especially, you know, lane changes, anticipate that with turns and curves well in advance to prepare for those. Yeah, and someone said it's hard to walk. Ice is everywhere. Yeah, I agree with that. In DC, getting in, you know, the Weather Explorer, yeah, you have to tread lightly just to get around. The sidewalks were frozen as I was walking to the car. You could see a layer of ice on the front of cars, all over the cars. You can see ice on the front of the cars as they start to drive and on the signs. So definitely, if you just look out your window, you can see ice somewhere. The roads right now, though, are not they're not bad. Kyle, are they bad right now? Nope, he says the roads are good where we are at, but of course that can change in an instant. We are, and if you guys are just tuning in, we're in Fredericksburg. We are in Stafford County checking out the roads. Where we're at, they are okay. We're not having any issues. Giving you guys a look at what we are seeing. Not bad. Heading up a hill right now, and People seem to be taking it pretty slow. Still have snow too off the sides of the roads. You know, we've just been dealing with a lot of winter weather lately. Of course, though, ice is just something totally different. And people have had to go out, which is why we've seen so many accidents, or Virginia State Police is reporting so many accidents today. Virginia State Police is also giving advice to make sure, of course, that all your windows and your lights are clear of snow, ice, and everything before you hit the road. We were on the highway a little earlier and someone hadn't done that, and there was just sheets of ice that were flying off. You know, so be sure and get all of that off. Get an ice scraper, get what you can, and get all of that off before you get on the roadway. It might take some time, so be sure, if you have to do any sort of necessary travel, you're encouraged to stay home, but if you have to, be sure you give yourself plenty of time to get all that ice off of your car windows, your headlights, the windows, the doors, everything. You know, it takes a little bit to get all that in motion before you can actually get on the highway. Also be careful walking outside as well. But if you do absolutely have to travel, the Virginia State Police says to make sure all of the windows and lights are clear of the snow and the ice before you head out. Slow speed. We've been driving well under the speed limit. You know, we're pulling up to a red light now and really slow coming to a stop just in case it is slippery. Of course, Virginia State Police says keep your phone down, put your coffee down, keep everything, your eyes on the road and your hands on the wheel. Keep your headlights on, of course, and check Virginia 511 before you head out to learn of any road closures. We have not seen any road closures, but we know that there have been. There's been a tree down on 95 somewhere in Virginia. I believe this is near Lewistown Road, near the 295 junction. There was a tree down in the road, so just be sure and check the roads before you go as well to see if there's anything that's going to cause it to be even slower. Yep, and we are encouraging people, of course, I'll say it again, you are encouraged by everybody to stay home. You are encouraged not to go out. Virginia State Police and the Virginia Department of Transportation are, you know, really urging people to stay home. Virginia State Police says to stay home tonight and overnight, and they say hopefully they will have everything taken care of by tomorrow if you can just be patient. Any tips that I am giving are for those people that have to get to work. They have necessary travel where they must leave the house, but you are strongly encouraged to stay home if you can. And it's a nasty day. Why would you want to get out if you absolutely don't have to? Let's take another look at the front of the roads here. You can see it is still nasty, still raining out right now. We can take a look back here as well. There are some cars out on the roadway, but not a ton at this point. We are closing in Fredericksburg right now, still on Route 1, heading more towards it. You guys can let's get a look out front and get a better idea of where exactly we are. And of course, Virginia Department of Transportation, you know, for people, and you know, we haven't had an ice storm like this in years. Meteorologist Chester Lampkin was saying. So this isn't something, you know, you can't even prepare to drive on ice because VDOT says it is unlike everything. There's no strategy for driving on ice, and we haven't dealt with an ice storm like this in years. So just wait it out at home, look out the window, turn on some Netflix, watch a movie. And VDOT says from their perspective too, it's definitely difficult to deal with because the temperatures are below freezing, very cold road temperatures as well. So they say this is just a continuous process for crews trying to stay continuously on this until the storm is over. They said there have been some crashes, but clearly ones that people were going too fast. Virginia State Police is reporting 283 crashes today. And a lot of stranded vehicles as well. So VDOT is saying if people can stay home at least for the rest of the day, give them the rest of the day and overnight, and they promise that tomorrow will be a little bit better. Of course, this has been a busy winter. You can see snow here, and now we're going on some of these side streets as well near Fredericksburg. To give you guys an idea, we're by the Northside Baptist Church in Fredericksburg, if you guys are familiar with this area. And of course, we do have a federal holiday on Monday, so hopefully there are going to be less people out on the roadway as we start the week as well. And then from VDOT as well, you know, please stay home, saying if you absolutely must drive, then you must allot for you know, extra time to be out on the roadways here. And so far today, Virginia State Police, there have been 283 traffic crashes across the state. Luckily, no fatalities. There have also been 143 disabled vehicles. So just not worth it. Just stay home if you can. And we are just cruising along these side roads here. Kyle, how are the roads here? Okay, yeah, so the roads are okay here as well. You can see they still have a lot of snow here. Sidewalks are clear, which are now more than likely pretty icy at this time. Lots of winter weather everywhere you look. And again, you're encouraged to stay home, stick it out at home. Right now we are in we've crossed over into Fredericksburg County. Right now we are in Fredericksburg. And I believe that was a crew truck as well. And there's not a lot of people out and about. You know, we're seeing a strip mall right now. There's not a ton of people out and about, which is great because you are encouraged to stay home. Seems a lot of people are heeding that warning as well. Let's see, I can flip it to the back and show you guys. So not a ton of people. You can see the roads very wet. Of course, the big concern right now is that this will freeze, of course, creating black ice and just a really dangerous situation. Here's the front right now. The rain's slowing down. You can hear the windshield wipers, which means slowing down, which, you know, meteorologist Hector Lampkin was saying earlier, the big concern is when it starts drizzling and that freezes, because when you have that heavier rain and hitting down, it doesn't have as, you know, much time to freeze if it's constantly raining hard. He says the drizzle and the light rain is when you really need to be concerned, as, you know, the rain is starting to lessen up where we are right now in Fredericksburg County. Not a ton of people out on the roadways, which is good. You can see some cars here as well, and you can see puddles on the roadway. The big concern, of course, is that this will freeze. Heading now, lots of snow still, and crews have had, you know, their work cut out for them over the last few weeks. We had snow 3 weekends ago. It seems it's always on Saturday and Sunday, which is good because there are less, you know, people working, and so less people out on the roadways, and more of an opportunity for people to stay home and wait it out. The roads are still okay in this area, but of course can change very, very, very quickly. So far today, there have been 283 crashes across the state, and that's as of 4 p.m. So that, of course, can change as well as crews continue to respond. Another big issue, of course, is power outages, because this ice, you know, on power lines, knocking trees down and can knock power lines down as well. And of course, if you're heading out to your car, if you absolutely have to go anywhere, which of course you are encouraged to stay home, there's going to be a thick layer of ice. You have to make sure to get all of that off before you head out. You have to make sure your headlights are clear, your windows are clear, your mirrors are clear. So be sure you have an ice scraper handy as well. And of course, if you're even walking outside on the sidewalks, very, very slick as well. So it's just best to stay inside. We'll give you the looks for you if you're interested on what everything looks like outside. Not a lot of people out on the roadways right now. Again, we are in Fredericksburg County. We're in Fredericksburg County. We have gone from we went down from DC through Stafford, now in Fredericksburg, getting a look at the conditions here as well. Not many people out on the roadways here where we are. You can take a look at the backside as well. Not many people, of course, which is good. A lot of empty parking lots as well. A good sign people are hopefully staying in and staying warm as well. All right, guys, so this was a look out on what we are seeing out in Fredericksburg County. We will have another full report coming up on WSA 9 starting at 6 o'clock, so be sure and tune in.